One of the main features that streamers want on their streams is an alert box. An alert box is basically an area on your screen where alerts or notifications will pop up when something happens on your stream. And those things could be when somebody subscribes or follows or donates or buys some of your merch, etc., etc. Whenever anybody reacts or interacts with your stream, something is going to pop up in that alert box. So we're going to need to set up that alert box in OBS Studio, place it in the correct area where we want the notifications to appear, and also edit the individual events to know what we're going to see and when. Now, the alert box is not a feature that's inbuilt into OBS Studio. We're again going to have to use an independent website to run these alerts for us. And we're going to be using Streamlabs. We're going to be using streamlabs.com, as you can see on the left-hand side of my screen. I'm already logged into Streamlabs. If you haven't done so already, you can register just by using your streaming information. And I'm logged in. I'm ready to go on Streamlabs. It's my dashboard homepage. Well, it's not right now. Let's take it to the homepage. Here's the dashboard homepage. And when I get to the homepage, I'm going to click on Alert Box on the left-hand side. And this area here, this page here, is going to manage all of your alerts. You can check what comes up for when a donator donates. You can check what comes up for if there's super chats. All of these options, by the way, will be dependent on what you logged in with. So you see here it says test donation, test sub, test member, test super. These are all here because I logged in with YouTube. If I logged in with Twitch, these would say test follower, test new monthly membership, I think it is. But the premise is the same. It's exactly the same process, just with different names. So let's say I want to set up a donation alert for when somebody donates on my channel. Well, the first thing I'm going to have to do is add an alert box to OBS Studio. Now on Streamlabs, you can just add a widget called Alert Box and it's all done for you. Doesn't quite work that way on OBS. We have to add a browser source, a URL source, in order to add an alert box. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over to OBS Studio, see my mouse, and we're going to click plus. We're going to click browser source. And I'm going to create new. I'm going to call it Alert Box 1 and click OK. And you'll see here, it's come up with a new pop-up window of some really random stuff on stream that looks scary. It's not scary. Don't worry about it. We'll come back to this in a second. What we need is a URL link to this alert box on Streamlabs. So we're going to go back to Streamlabs dashboard. We're going to go here, click to show widget URL. I'm actually not going to click it because then you guys will get the URL. I'm going to press copy, and I'm going to put it in here. Actually, I don't think it matters if you have the URL anyway, does it? Let me think. No, doesn't matter, because then you can just get all of my alerts on your stream. So whatever, it's fine. I can change it. You can actually change that URL as well. So immediately after I've recorded the video, I will change the URL just for privacy, but it really doesn't matter. So I've put that URL. I've taken it from here. I press copy. I've put it into the URL line. And all I'm going to do is press OK. Now, you see this empty area here? It's like a big red square. This is where, in theory, the alerts from Streamlabs are going to appear on this scene. So you can't see anything right now because there's no alert. But what if we set one up? So in Streamlabs dashboard, we're going to go to donations. We're going to make sure that donation alerts are clicked on. They are enabled. And I already have a kind of custom donation alert set up. I can change the minimum amount donated to make the alert happen. So if I set this to 10, somebody has to donate a minimum of $10 to get this alert to happen. I'm going to put it to 0 though, so that it always happens no matter what the amount. The message template is going to be the person's name, sent, the person's amount of money. Legend! Sounds good. We can change the animation, we can change the image, we can change the sound. Whatever we want to do, we can change here. But first of all, I'm going to click save, and I'm going to test this to see if our URL worked with our browser source. Let's give it a go. I'm actually going to turn down my speakers a little bit. Let's see what happens. There we go. We've got our alert in OBS Studio, and I can hear it playing as well. So the link is there. The link is now working.
For $89.
Now it's up to you how you want to edit each of these notifications to be customized and personalized to your channel. So I've got that as my donation alert. There we go. John sent $37. Legend! And that will happen every time somebody donates. But what about when somebody subscribes?
This is a test donation for $37.
I'm going to go over to subscriber here. Oh, by the way, I use the test donation button. All of these buttons here will send a message to OBS Studio to test the alert. So if I press test donation, it will show me the donation alert in OBS Studio. A great way to make sure the changes you've made are, changes you want. Let's go to subscribers then. So let's say I get a new subscriber. Subscriber alert is enabled. The layout, we'll talk about layouts a little bit later on, not really relevant right now. My message template is new sub and then the person's name. And to make it different from the donation alert, I'm actually going to change the GIF that pops up. So you can see here, it's got this Benzai logo here. I'm going to press, or when I'm going to hover my mouse over the plus button, it's going to give me three options. I can link a file from my PC to upload. I can cancel the one that's already there. So if I do that, it will just disappear. Or I can choose one from the images gallery. So I'm just going to choose a random image from let's choose the penguin. Why not? Everyone loves penguins. And I'm going to choose some random sound effect. I don't know. We've got loads of uploads here because I've done them before. I'll show you how to do that later. Let's do the bits right here. Let's do that. We'll select and we'll save those changes. Sound volumes at 20%. Maybe we'll turn that up to 32%. Alert duration 7 seconds. That's all fine. Let's save those settings. And in theory, now when I press test subscriber, it's going to look completely different to test donator because I've changed the individual settings. Let's try. Boop. Didn't work. Now, why did that not work? I'll tell you why it didn't work, because sometimes you have to click save settings over and over and over again, and suddenly it does update. So if it doesn't update first time, guys, go back down, smash the save settings again. So I've done a custom for test dono, a custom for test subscriber, and I can do the same for members. I've just changed the tab here to members. I can just change these and press save. I can do the same for super chats, pledges, merch. That is how you manage your alert box. Now, when your alert box is added into OBS Studio, I can now drag that and resize it to wherever I want. So if I make it tiny and put it in the top left-hand corner here, and then I test the dono, the alert will be tiny. But if I increase the size and just put it bang in the middle, it's going to be huge. So you can just play around with the alert box now
test donation
as
for
much
$49.
as you want. You can make it entirely what you need for your channel. Now, there's a couple things that we can add to this to make it a little bit more interesting. Let's say when my fans or viewers donate, I want the donation alert to be up here in the top left-hand corner. I want it to be this small. There goes the sound. And I always want it to be there. I don't want it to be somewhere else.
This is a test donation for $85.
Thank you, Streamlabs. But when somebody subscribes, I want it to be in a different location. This is possible. It's a little bit trickier, but it's possible. So what I'm going to do on my Streamlabs dashboard page, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go to Filter Events. And I'm going to drop down that menu. And I'm going to create a link just for donations. So I'm going to get rid of all of these, except for donations. And now I'm going to click copy. And in this alert box 1 in OBS Studio, I'm going to double click and I'm going to replace the URL with our new copied URL. Now, if I test donation, it pops up. But let's let it do its thing.
This is a test donation for $98.
Thank you, Streamlabs. But if I press test subscriber, nothing. Because we filtered the events in that alert box. So I'm going to go to the alert box in OBS Studio. I'm actually going to rename it to donation alerts. Then I'm going to create a second alert box. If I can find it. Why can I not find alert box? Because I'm looking for browser source. I've got my Streamlabs head on. We're in OBS Studio. We have to add a browser source. There is not an alert box you can add. So browser source. We're going to go this time. We're going to go all other alerts. Let's do that. And I'm going to go back to Streamlabs dashboard. I'm going to filter the events for a new URL. I'm going to take donations off, and I'm instead going to add everything else. And then we're going to click off. We're going to click copy. We're going to replace the URL in OBS Studio with our new filtered URL. And we're going to move the all other alerts box to the right-hand side, just so you can see the difference between the two alert box. So, donation alert, if I click on it, you can see it's top left of our stream. All other alerts is on the right-hand side of the stream. So if I click donation, test donation, top left, and we'll wait for Streamlabs to talk. John sent $48. John's rich.
This is a test donation for $48.
And if I press test subscriber, only appears in the right-hand side alert box because we filtered the events. If I do test super chat, very loud.
This is a test super chat alert for $89.
On the right-hand side of the screen because we filtered all of those events. So this is a really cool feature. You can do this on Streamlabs OBS, but I feel like it's much easier just to do it with those filtered URLs and be able to drag them around as you wish. It's super, super cool. And if you can learn to do that, you're already miles ahead of other OBS Studio creators. Now, is there anything else you need to know about alert boxes? You can go into manage themes here. If you have Streamlabs Prime, you can download pre-made alert box packs. And you go into the store, you press install, and then you copy the URL just like you would with what we've just done. We've got CloudBot Redemption. Don't worry about this for now. This is basically a loyalty point system. We'll come on to that a little bit later. For now, what you want to do, you want to get a separate alert box set up for donations, subscribers, and memberships. Those are the three main alerts that are going to be popping up on your stream all the time. As I said, there is the option to run this through another host like Stream Elements or Nightbot. I and MediaEquip just purely agree that Streamlabs is the most user-friendly software, and for now, this is the best way to be running alerts on OBS Studio.